Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 30 years collective experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. I'm Clare Whalley from Metaphor Business Coaching. We also have
Darren Langley from Gravitas Web Design.
Kate Curry from Kudos Creative.
Pete Morgan from Monkey Pants Productions.
Oh, that was seamless, guys.
Wasn't it?
I mean, we've been doing this now for
5.5 years.
You'd like to think we'd got it now.
We've got it.
We can just
got
about
it.
remember Anna.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Nobody move. So today we are talking about finding your perfect fit customers. Now, I think this is the most important thing in business. I've just reread that title because if you're not finding your perfect fit customers, then you've gone and got yourself a job, I think.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how we go about doing that. So, Kate, share with us, how do you know when you've found your perfect fit customer? What happens that makes it all come together and go, oh?
No, this is a good topic. I think we all have lots to talk about here, won't we? I think when I very first started the business, my ideal customer was absolutely anyone with a heartbeat, and that was kind of like that was my filter
even then you weren't
process.
that choosy.
Yeah. Just about a life. You'll do. That'd be great. But I feel like as you progress, you start to like refine that, and it only takes a few bad experiences where you find that there's personality clashes or that you're just not on the same page in terms of what you want to achieve from working together, that you realise that actually we need to refine it. So I like to think of it as a big game of Guess Who. And like you start with them all flapped up and you go like, I don't want to work with anyone with a moustache. Let's flap them. Get all of them down.
Whoa. Wait a minute. What's the moustache
No,
date?
actually, I'm not actually. No, I quite like a moustache. Not on me, but on anyone.
No.
But so it's a bit like that, and you start to refine it down over time, and then realise that what a perfect fit customer actually looks like. And I think for me personally, I've come to realise that it's all about like our values. And if you get somebody with like-minded values, then it's like just, I don't know, like fireworks go off, don't they? And you realise that you've got so much to talk about, very like-minded, all on the same mission. We want to do things, make positive change in the world. And it's just, that's a great way of working, isn't it? If you can have that relationship. And that's when you have longevity as well, I think, because you know you've got somebody who gets you and you get them, and you know, it becomes like a friendship almost.
So true. I think it is like meeting the one, isn't it? When you first connect with a client or potential client, and you're in that room with them, and you're like, oh my God, I love this.
Do you give them a wink?
Give a little rose in my lapel. For me, it's that when people first of all go, it's like you were talking directly to me when I saw that LinkedIn post or whatever it is, and I'm like, yes, that's when you know your marketing is really working, and that is your ideal client in front of you, because you know it's like you've singled them out. That's what I love about finding my perfect client. Darren, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar. You do kind of make a connection. People buy from people, as they say, and I think there's that sometimes indistinguishable connection that you have with people. I kind of start with a positive outlook, which is hard to believe, but I normally enter every kind of potential client meeting and thinking, you know, this could be my next great, you know, client, next customer. And then for me, it's kind of the other end. It's the red flags that kind of pop up that then indicate to me, it's not gonna work.
What are your red flags?
Oh God, there's so many red flags. Well, I've become, I mean, after 17 years in business now and becoming kind of old in the tooth, I'm kind of, you know, I've seen lots of things which indicate to me that a project's not going to work out. And I'll probably come up with a few, but I think one of the key ones for me, something quite simple that is always a red flag, is when you're talking about costs and you're talking about payment plans, we always take a percentage up front.
Yes.
And we have our payment plans and we offer that to the client. And when the client negotiates those payment plans, that's an instant red flag.
Yes.
Because I've never had a project where I've negotiated the payment plans and given them 10% instead of 50%
Yeah.
or whatever it might be. I've never had it go right, and I've never got fully paid.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, well, that's
So true.
It's
So
got,
it's
got
someti- yeah.
the meaning behind that, though, when people do that.
Yeah.
Like, push back on your pricing. They're
Yeah.
not seeing the value
Yeah.
in what you
Exactly.
do.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
saying on
yeah.
there. I don't
Yeah.
value what you've got to offer
yeah.
me.
And I'm really unsure about whether I want to work with you, so I don't want to pay you 25%, not 50%. And it's like, well, if I've not done enough to kind of sell you that we're the right people for you, then maybe we're not the right people for you, and maybe you
Yeah.
shouldn't be making that, that jump. So I'm quite happy to kind of reject clients
Yeah.
on those bases these days. Whereas
How do you do that, though?
It's not me, it's you. No, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
Which one?
well, there's different ways. You can be straight up about it and say, this isn't the sort of thing we normally do, but I can kind of advise you someone to talk to, or it might be.
I think you're a dick.
Yeah, I think you're a dick. Or sometimes, and it is sometimes legitimately that we haven't got scope, we haven't got the resource to do this project, because quite often, if it's it can be a case that there's really tight deadlines. Oh, we need this website in 6 weeks, but it's got to do loads and loads of stuff. It's like, well, that isn't going to work for us. We've got lots of other stuff on, and so we can't do that unfortunately in that timeline. And I mean, it used to be a case of we just jack up the price, And
Yeah.
But sometimes it has backfired where then they come back to you and it's like, great, we're going to get more money, but then it's like, didn't really want to do this project, so that's not necessarily always the best solution.
But that's a good thing, isn't it, to say we haven't got the scope for that.
We haven't got the scope,
You know,
we haven't got the
we are
resource.
not a good fit.
Yeah, just being honest about it. But no, there was a time when I would have just taken on those clients, a bit like Kate said, the early days, the door's open to anybody and everybody, but now I don't mind being a bit fussy
Yeah,
with my own clients.
yeah, agreed. Pete, how do you know your perfect fit clients?
Because what I love is, I think all four of us, when we've talked about this, none of it is like statistical or data driven.
No.
It's all a vibe.
Yeah.
It's all this feels right. And I think I get that really early on, kind of the first phone call. And it's not when I find out what their podcast is about, or what it really is, just like, right, I've talked to you. Yeah, I like you.
Yeah.
I get on with you. I can, they are someone who is a straight talker, but it's not one of those people who go, oh, I'm a real straight talker. Because if they have to announce that they're a straight talker, they're not. But
Sometimes I announce I'm a straight talker. And I am a straight talker.
well, I think you're quite deceitful. I don't know. I don't necessarily see it as a red flag, but it's always one of those of, right, okay, if you've had to...
Is it like people telling you that they're really funny?
Yes. Those people, I'm the fun person in the office, okay.
Oh, see, I also say that.
No, you don't. But yeah, it's in that first call, it's really early on. And if it's not happened really early on, then just like Darren said, you kind of think, right, okay, this could be a little bit of a difficult. So whilst I don't say the pricing myself out, or, I structure the work so that our interaction is to a minimum, really.
Yeah. And of course, I do know everyone around the table has got a structure in their business that enables us all to find that perfect customer more easily, by asking them questions before you meet rather than just jumping straight on a call.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a red flag. It was last week from a potential client who called me from the car. I said, oh, what we do first of all is have like a chat. And he said, oh, am I okay to have that chat from the car because I'm really busy? That was my big red flag being flat. If you're too busy to sit down in a room for an hour to grow your business, then I'm not the right coach for you. So that was squashed straight away. So that was good.
I mean, if you did want to sack clients, the other thing you could do is just change your name, move house.
Could do, yeah.
Because witness protection program.
I've done that in the past because my name's not Pete Morgan. This isn't. Yeah, I've done that to get away from another client.
Some people will go to extraordinary lengths to avoid conflict.
So your moustache is actually disguised, is that a whole
Yeah, this all comes off.
I always wondered.
I've got a full head of hair.
You're going to reveal your identity.
This is just a bald cap. Yeah. It's like a Mission Impossible mask.
Gonna be like a Scooby-Doo moment.
Yeah.
Like reveal the true Pete Morgan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you do now differently to find or attract your perfect customers that you kind of didn't do at the beginning? Because we know in the beginning it's like anyone, you got a pulse come in, like Kate said. What do you do differently now?
I think I'm more me
Yes.
rather than corporate speak.
Yeah.
I don't, because I think we've talked about in the past that I had a potential client who said, I can't work with a firm that's called Monkey Pants Productions.
Oh, yeah.
So I created an umbrella company
crazy,
and now I wouldn't do that.
No. What would you say now?
I would say it really doesn't matter, because by and large you're dealing with me. What literally the name Monkey Pants Productions is going to appear on an invoice.
Yeah.
And that's it. The rest of the time it's not going to come up at all. So quit your worrying and get on board.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't do business with a company called Virgin. Sorry, Richard. It's not going to work out.
That's the ridiculous thing, isn't it?
So it was. I was trying to be, and this is kind of in the marketing, on the website, trying to be something with the branding, trying to be something I'm not, and it's that realization of, be more. Just be more Pete.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, because I think if they don't like me, that's fine. We're not going to be a good fit.
No, very true. Kate, what do you do now?
I like to think I do lots of things. I'm trying to think what's my biggest nugget. But I think understanding what our customers' like real problems are, what their pain points are, and they are quite specific to the sort of people that we want to work with. So they might find that their branding is a little bit disjointed, or they're not getting their messaging across properly, or things are falling a bit flat, they don't know why, and they really need to have someone like outside of the business to come in and really pick it apart and find that golden thread to pull out and that kind of stuff. So it's like talking the language that they want to hear, like what are the things that are really bothering them, and that actually we can solve that. But I think also a bit like Pete was saying there, it's about being the kind of person that they want to speak to in the way that you come across, not just how you speak when they meet you, but make sure you're being consistent with that, the way you are on your socials, the way you speak on your website, the way you waffle in your monthly podcast. And trying to keep it, consistent, so they feel like they get to know you on a personal level, even if it isn't actually you that's, that they're kind of interacting with particularly. It might be a
very true. You have to be very comfortable, don't you, in your own skin as a marketer. Yeah. And I think at the beginning, and I still hear lots of business owners saying, "Oh, I don't like posting." You've got to get over it.
Yeah.
It's really that's.
And people will hide behind like this sort of like professional facade that they feel like they need to do. And I've definitely been guilty.
Me too.
Oh yeah, same here.
Like if people really do, like there's no way they're trying to like get involved in it. But actually, what I've really come to realise with working with all sorts of different clients over the years is when you get a really good one, they're invested in you and your own personality and everything that you're all about. And we've got clients who say to us, "Oh, when I see the meeting come up in my diary, I genuinely feel really excited and I'm really looking forward to it. It's the one meeting I really, really look forward to every month." And that feels lovely, and I think that's the magic you need to kind of like put out across everything to attract more of the same sort of people.
Yeah. I think there's evidence of that as well in when you look at your reviews and our reviews, and I'm sure it's the same for us all. When you look at the reviews that clients leave on, say, Google or whatever, they always drop names in there. They're always thanking the individuals. It's they're not thanking the company.
No.
This corporate non-entity or whatever.
Yeah.
They're always naming people in those reviews, and so and that really highlights the fact that they value the fact that it's individuals that they're dealing with and not just
it's personal,
faceless corporation. Yeah.
One thing that I do differently is speaking to one person in my marketing. I will just have one client in mind. And once you know your ideal client profile inside out, you're speaking to all of those people with those problems who wants those results. And I think that's why I love it when people go, oh, it was like you were speaking to me, because I'm like, yes,
nice,
I've got it nailed.
Yeah, I would go with similar lines in terms of when attracting the market, or marketing in general. When I started out, my marketing strategy was quite wide. I'd be marketing in, advertising on wherever, in a magazine or in, and doing, just kind of trying to put on my name everywhere. I probably, every time a salesperson phoned up and said, do you want to advertise in our magazine?
Yes,
I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got 3,000 people a minute looking at this and whatever. Yeah, great, sign me up. And all of that stuff, none of it ever worked. And really all it comes down to now is just targeting my marketing pretty much around the networking and referral side of things. Because even though we still do a lot on SEO, and we're very sort of successful in SEO in terms of our position, our best clients always come through the referrals and the networking.
People who know you.
People who know me and people who know people who know me, yeah. So, it's that kind of second-hand introduction.
And the people who know the people who know you.
Not so much, actually, no. But it's just that like-mindedness. So if you've built up that business relationship where you know, like and trust somebody, and they get on with you and you get on with them, and then there's somebody else that they know and they have that same relationship where they know, like and trust them and they get on with them, then there's a good chance you're going to get on with their person that they know. So when they refer you, it's an instant click. You're already connected. You're already linked.
Is anybody else confused? Are these too many no's, wasn't there? I know.
So basically,
I know what you mean.
We all know what you mean.
Your friends become your friends.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And then you cut out the first person, you just become friends on your own. And you just go out for drinks together, and you forget the other person, and the other person's like, hang on, didn't I introduce these two? And now I'm not their friend anymore. They're just going out having fun. Why are they posting on social media that they're at the theatre together? I didn't get invited.
Kick them out of the WhatsApp.
That could
kick them out of the WhatsApp group, and yep. This episode of A Funny Thing Called Business is sponsored by Monkey Pants Productions, the podcasting production house that holds your hand as much or as little as you want, whether it's through education and training, right up to full mobile studio facilities that we can bring to where you are to get your business vision, your podcast idea out to a waiting global audience. We've just launched our brand new course for 2025, Launch Your Business Podcast. 10 lessons, easy to digest, email support, a lifetime access to the course once you've bought it. If you want to find out more, the link is in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode.
Let's talk about what you've learned about your business through the wrong fit customers, because that's way more important, isn't it? I think we have all had wrong fit customers through the door, and in fact I was hearing somebody talk about this just yesterday, and it is making her question her entire business.
Wow.
And I thought, it does do that. If you've got one bad customer, it makes you just rethink everything, and that is the crazy thing, isn't it? Right from the get-go, you have to trust your instinct on these red flags. If it feels wrong, it will be wrong, and it is the one bad apple. It's so true.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, thinking of an example, and again, perhaps more in the early days than now, but I've had clients come to me and I give them a quote and they say, I can get a website done for 800 quid. It's like,
crack on then.
Yeah, now I'd be more like we'll go, good, go on then, see you later. But at the time I'd be like, okay, in that case I must reduce the price and take them on. And then you take on this client who doesn't value what you do, clearly, because they've just told you that they think it's only worth quarter of what it is or whatever. And you've reciprocated by reducing your prices and saying that, it's not really worth what I think it is either. So you've just completely undersold yourself. And then what you find you end up in a loop with in those sorts of scenarios when you've got the wrong fit is you're spending more and more time dealing with that client, and it's actually even cost you even more in terms of time than it would if it was the right fit. And while you're distracted with this client doing all of that stuff, other opportunities to passing you by.
The good clients.
You just have to, I think you just have to sometimes have the gumption to say, no, that one's not for me, and just be confident that something else is going to come up that's going to be better.
So true.
And be open, ready to receive that one, because that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, the bad clients take up so much mental energy, don't they?
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah,
of
and
your space.
they will find ways to totally usurp all of your processes.
Yeah,
everything goes through this channel.
And your weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll
be
get
WhatsApping
into your weekend.
Absolutely. And that's when I get clients start WhatsApping, it's like, right, well, this isn't good. We're nipping this in the bud, or we're gonna do something to.
I've got a couple of clients that WhatsApp, and one of them I had to speak to and say, no, this isn't the way we do this, and the other one just doesn't listen. And they're fine. They're very respectful of they only message during.
Yeah, and if you don't want to WhatsApp them, you just don't respond.
Exactly.
Or respond to them on another channel.
And that's the thing as well. Just on that, there's so many channels of communication that you've got to pick your lanes and stick with it and be brave about that. Because other your clients may have their own preferred channels, and that might be different to yours. But if you're the one managing like all of these different projects or lots of different clients, what have you, if you're not in your lane and making sure everyone comes to you in that lane, again, you miss things. You're going to miss other, bits of comments or feedback or requests or whatever it might be from those clients, and you end up spreading yourself too thin. I think if you have too many forms of communication open and available that you can be contacted on.
Yeah, we don't need to be available everywhere.
Yeah. That's why I only accept requests by pigeon.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Kate, what have you learned about working with the wrong clients?
Oh, well, I have had this happen a few times over the years. And I don't know if you've noticed, I'm quite an emotive person. So when I work with someone that we really vibe with, I can get very overexcited. We'll get lots and lots of energy, lots of creative energy, lots of positive sparks flying off everywhere. And when I work with someone who is not the right person for me, then quite the opposite happens. And I find that when I'm working with someone who I love, I'm on the crest of a wave and feeling very, very excited and positive, and that sort of seeps through into all elements of my life as well. Whereas if I'm working with somebody who isn't, then the opposite happens. So it's like they call radiators and drains, don't they? And I like radiators, and I find drains are like, but I definitely have a few examples. And one was a company, quite a big company, and I was quite excited about working with them. Didn't necessarily put them through the filter process that I should have. So this was a little while ago.
Okay.
Before
we'll let you
before
off.
Claire told me off for doing things like that. And we had to do like this big sort of presentation thing and get it rewritten and redesigned and then sent it over. And they didn't like what was done. And the way they told me about it was to have me on speaker call with their chief executive in the background and on a Friday afternoon. And I spent all weekend just sobbing about it. Like, I'm rubbish I can't do this job anymore. Anyway, by the Monday, they'd call back to say, here's our changes. And they're actually fairly minimal. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, really?
Yeah.
And not only that, but actually, there's been some feedback that some of what you did was so good, we'd like to roll it out into some other things. And I was like, I bet that really hurt to say that. But do you know what? I feel like, for me, it's like I've got to work with people who are ethical and like-minded, and that's not an ethical way of working, is it?
No.
It's like if there really were things that you weren't happy with, then let's work through it in a constructive way,
at the right
because
time.
I want things to be perfect as they do, but all that did is make me cry for 48 hours.
For no reason.
And that ruined my weekend. And then the impact of that then on my, I was probably grumpy with the kids all weekend and, telling, Matt, don't touch me all weekend. But
kicking the dog.
I know. Just drowning myself in bottles of vodka and stuff. But I don't know, that's not the person I want to be.
No.
And that is not the leader of a successful business. And so it's really important to figure out those people early on and either have a really rigid, this is exactly how we'll work, agreed right at the get-go, or just go, we're not really aligned, and I think it's better for you to find someone else to do the job for you.
And of course, we are the leaders, aren't we? People are coming to us as the experts. Otherwise, go and do it yourself because you clearly know better. So we have to be in the driving seat of those situations, don't we? So let's talk about challenges. What challenges have we all got at the moment that is focused around finding your perfect fit clients? One of my challenge is helping business owners who are struggling in their business to understand the transformation that coaching will achieve for them. Too many are stuck and allowing themselves to be stuck and just hoping, fingers crossed, it'll all sort itself out. It won't. And that's one of my challenges. So answers on a postcard.
I suppose that's where the case studies and things like that really come into their own, don't they? Where you get people who have already benefited from what you do to talk about.
But you know what results. People say, oh, that wouldn't work for me. I'm not like them. I'm so unique. That is, I think we all think we're very unique. Yeah. Which of course we are in.
No, we can't be. There's no such thing as very unique. You are unique or not unique, and that is it.
We're all unique, Pete.
We are, but we're not very unique.
No.
Uniqueness is not quantitative.
We're all exactly the same level of uniqueness.
Sorry, that's such a pedant thing to say. Sorry.
God, I've got an English degree as well. I should know better. Kate, challenges?
I guess... like perfect fit customers, sometimes that changes over time. So I think it's like really good to keep an eye on, like, are the people we're working with now still the right fit for us? And identifying that and making sure that, you just keep checking in on it and reviewing it and making sure that you're on it. And that is then the foundation of everything else that you do, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It's the most important thing I think you can sort out in your business. And so it's very easy not to, necessarily keep checking back in on it. Go, is it still right? Are these people still the right people? Or is this going to take our business forward? And so I suppose it's that really, making sure that you keep checking in on it. Yeah,
I always say do your ideal client profile at least every 18 months. Because it's really easy to get stuck in that pattern of, this is who I talk to and this is how I talk. Well, it's probably different now. Darren, challenges?
Yeah, I have a slightly different challenge in that for all of the red flags and all of the things we've discussed, some of the work that we do is with agency partners, and they may not implement the same red flag system that I do.
No.
But because we do deal with a lot of their clients, a lot of their projects, there's clients in there that are theirs that I would be like, I wouldn't work with them.
Yeah.
But now I'm stuck working with them. So it's kind of like, and I don't want to ditch off the whole relationship based on a client. So it's kind of a little bit of a tricky one in the sense of, there's not much I can do apart from to educate them about.
Have you had a conversation about it?
I mean, they're well aware. There's more than one situation going on in parallel that I'd say is probably likewise. But then, it's a bit like you just said, actually, Kate, you've got to go back and review what your perfect client is. These are probably relationships, some of them that maybe have been going for a long time, some maybe newer. But, you've got to kind of go back over it, I think. And but it's harder being a supplier in that sense. And I'm sure there's people out there in the same situation where getting the opportunity to choose your clients is perhaps slightly more oblique than just you dealing directly with the end customer. So,
but also your ideal client profile for the agency profile.
Oh yeah, I mean they fit that.
They do fit that.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the occasional client
that seeps through.
But you get paid, don't you? I suppose.
Pete, any
sell your soul.
Yeah, it's a job, innit? Yeah. Something to do.
Yeah, and they give
keeps me off the streets.
They give me 25 days annual leave. And,
exactly.
Pete, any challenges?
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit kind of what Kate was saying, but reversed. So, to take the words of the hip hop classic, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And it's remembering that me and my Pete-ness is one of the big selling points of why this ideal client wants to work with me.
Yes.
And it's on the days when maybe you don't feel
Pete-ness.
very peaty, of just check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you don't want to spoil the relationship because, you know, you've stubbed your toe or, you know, you've had a row or something like that.
Yeah.
So that can be one of my things, is just make sure you're the person they want to be speaking to when you speak to them, not the what do you want?
Yeah, I spoke to somebody yesterday who said she's got a challenging client at the moment. She said she went to like bang back an email in response, and she was like, no, just sleep on it. And she reread it again the next day, and she was like, no, I still need a little bit longer to send it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that same day, then, you know, she was able to send the email with, you know, all the emotion out and calm, and it got resolved.
I mean, I do that where I write a draft email. I don't put their email address on,
no,
just in case
it gets sent.
But just to bang out those.
Yeah.
I'd love to read your drafts folder.
Oh, yeah. I might publish a book when I retire, yeah.
The unsent emails, you can have that.
Yeah.
You can
Brilliant.
have
I'm
that.
writing that down.
You can have that.
Yeah. And I also
That really
want to
is a
know,
bestseller.
how do you dial up your peakness? Or what are your top tips for doing that?
I think music is always good, or you know, doing something that kind of really I get great joy from. So
Just a bit of Rage Against the Machine. And
I mean, sometimes it is that, but I mean, more often than not, it's something a bit soul-y and funky, or hip-hop, or something with a good rhythm. Or sometimes just standing out in the back garden in the sunshine.
Yeah,
is
putting your
just,
face in the sun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then it's just like, here we go, Pete.
Yay!
Good to see you.
So that's Tony takes when he opens the door to me. I'm suspicious now. Let's talk about silver linings. Silver linings when it comes to your perfect or not so perfect fit customers. When I was thinking about this, it was remembering that this is our businesses and we can do what the heck we like with them.
Yeah.
And we can stop bad relationships at any point. You know, if you've embarked on a client relationship that's no longer working for you, you can easily say, this is no longer working out. I'm sure you agree. We are not the right fit for each other.
There's a phrase in recruitment called that's hire slow, fire fast.
Yes.
And I think it's exactly the same with a bad, you know, working relationship.
Yeah.
Of once you realise it's bad, don't expect it to get better. Don't just...
Don't expect the other person to be able to mind read you this isn't working out for them. I'll think I'll change my attitude or behaviour, because they won't.
No.
Kate, silver linings.
Oh, well, I just think that the silver linings are, if you can have like a practice full of your ideal clients and like proper ideal clients with no compromises at all, imagine how that would feel. And every single day you're working with people that really appreciate what you do, you get on really well, you have a good laugh, you might stand in the sunshine and, I don't know, dance in your kitchen or something together, I don't know. But I just think if you can do that and you'll feel brilliant about your business, feel brilliant about the work you're doing, and the output that you do will be better, the results will be better. I think the knock-on effect of that is really exciting. That's my silver lining.
Yeah. Agreed. Darren?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a good relationship, I think the work is better because, you know, we're as proud of it then as the client is, you know, because it's if it goes well and we're doing something for somebody we really believe in, it does make it exciting, does make it more interesting. You do kind of subconsciously just put more into it, and you know, I think it's definitely the ideal situation. I think in terms of my other scenario with being, you know, having an agency or a client whose clients are the problem. The silver lining there is at least they have that agency in the middle, and they're the ones actually dealing with the crap, and you just get to deal with the agency. So in fairness, it's not, you know, you've at least got that buffer, So there's lots of silver linings.
I feel like I need a glass of champagne to chink. Here's to our perfect fit customers.
Nice.
Chink, chink. Thanks, guys. So for our lovely listeners, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.